the true story of the ultimate champion.
Welcome back to Classics of Cinematics, where Monk and Bobby Blockbuster rewatch and discuss the most iconic classic films. Today's film is Bloodsport from 1988. This film stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as Frank Dux, a U.S. Army captain who goes AWOL to compete in a secret underground tournament called the Kumite. The film is directed by New Arnold, based on a controversial real-life story of Frank Dux. It also stars Donald Gibb, Leah Ayres, Forrest Whitaker, and Bolo Young as the fearsome villain Chong Li. Bloodsport is widely considered one of the most influential martial arts movies of all time, and it even inspired the creation of Mortal Kombat. So without further ado, let's talk about Bloodsport and why it still kicks ass
to this day.
Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and I'm joined here with Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, and we're about to talk about Bloodsport, man, from 1988, man. So what's one of the things that stands out about this film to you?
Oh, one of many things. First and foremost, I love this film. Loved it as a kid, still love it now. It is is testosterone infused adrenaline of machismo kind of a film. And you know, gotta say this though, Kickboxer is a better movie. Has better story, better acting, and a much better villain. Tong Po is that dude.
Okay. I don't know. It's arguable, man, because I think Bolo is carrying a lot of weight in this film.
Bolo is carrying a lot of weight, but Tong Po is just so vicious and malicious at the same time. But this one, okay. Now that we got that out the way, this story, it's paper thin, dude. It's really really rough around the edges. I mean, pretty much. When you break it down in simplest form, this young boy breaks into a karate guy's house, and the karate guy, instead of calling the police, says, "You can be a training dummy for my child." And then that child ends up passing away in this secret tournament. And then, so then the training dummy, which was the kid, levels up, and the karate man pours all his knowledge into him, right? Then, after he levels up and gets all this karate knowledge, he enlists into the army, then decides to go AWOL from the army to fight in this underground tournament to honor the karate man that is now currently on his deathbed. Boom. That's the story.
Yeah, that's it.
What makes this story interesting, though, is the fact that it is supposed to be based on the actual events of the life that Frank Dux lived. Okay, this is where all the controversy. This is where the fun begins. Okay, so for starters, at the end of the film, we get these superhuman stats. We got these superhuman stats. I mean, talk about padding stats. This is the greatest. So, okay, for starters, Mr. Frank Dux says he fought in 329 matches from 1975 to 1980. He retired as the undefeated world heavyweight full contact Kumite champion and still to this day holds 4 records. Listen to these records. But
here's the thing though, so like the Kumite is supposed to be the secret thing. And to this day, there's no real Kumite. Who the hell knows? What is he talking about? Like,
here's the thing, bro. Listen to these records that he claims.
Who's there to confirm and check and deny these stats?
There was no internet. But look, here's the thing. So he currently claims still holds records for fastest knockout, 3.2 seconds. Fastest punch with a knockout, 12 seconons. Fastest kick with a knockout.
Fastest punch with a knockout with a punch, or
I wrote it exactly.
No. Hold up.
Knocked somebody out.
So no, I saw that stat. It's 0.12 seconds.
0.12 seconds.
So that means his punch was thrown at a speed. The punch went out at
0.12 seconds. Okay, there you go. Fastest kick with a knockout, 72 miles per hour. Right?
Do they have a radar gun on his kicks?
I don't know where. Who's got the stopwatch? Who's got the radar gun? And they got the wherefore for this going on? And then to close out this immaculate stat list, he has most consecutive knockouts in a single tournament in 56 knockouts consecutive.
How many people was in a tournament? Like 50? That means you went through 56 rounds, bro.
56 rounds.
Nah.
With just knockouts. But he claims that he fought 329 matches in 5 years.
That's possible if you're in a...
But this tournament only happens once every 5 years. So do you mean to tell me in this one tournament. You fought 330 matches and knocked 56 people out straight?
Was it
with 72-mile-an-hour kicks? Yeah, come on, Mr. Frank Dux.
You know, it's wild. Like, those stats are crazy because I was talking before, like, this is before the internet. And, like, and we were so young at that time. Like, if we saw that, we believed it.
Damn
if
right.
you put some words at the end of your movie, we believe in that.
Damn right.
Like, so,
oh, man, I went to church with that shit. I said, dog, this is real. Look at these stats. if he was lying, they couldn't put it on the end of the movie. Yeah. But then here's the thing, where I was able to really look into this, this was a very fun read. If you go on to historyversehollywood.com, it's a real interesting article about this whole scenario with Mr. Frank Dux, and then like they're talking with other karate individuals in these magazines. I think it's like Black Belt something or other, some karate magazine.
Wild.
But
Frank Dux was wild, man.
The thing of it is that throughout this whole long article, they never deny or confirm the actuality if this really happened or not.
It didn't, bro. I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say it didn't.
You know what?
For people.
I'm on that limb with you. I agree. He bullshitted his way into Hollywood with a dope concept, and it was entertainment adrenaline rush. That's what we got.
Here's one thing that I think I can applaud this film for, man. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but the tournament setup, I appreciate that. You know what? They actually redid this film later with Van Damme called The Quest. But
you want to know something about that too? Frank Dux worked on that story with him, and then Van Damme took the story, made it The Quest, and then Frank Dux sued him.
Oh wow!
This shit was on court TV, bro.
That's crazy. Well, the thing that I like about this, since it is this MMA, what would later be called MMA now, mixed martial arts, what was UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship kind of thing. So what I like about it is we do get the different fighting styles and the different fighters. I really appreciate that. It almost feels like I'm watching like Street Fighter turn into a movie, like Street Fighter 2, because you got the different styles. You got some people that are, you know, the monkey dude, you know what I'm saying? Which was crazy.
Oh, my favorite fighters, was the Muay Thai guy.
Yeah, the Muay Thai. So you're seeing different styles and techniques going up against each other. I thought that was kind of ahead of its time, like for what it was doing this. But also, honestly, this ain't the first though. Now that I'm thinking about it, my brain is kicking in. It's early, but I'm thinking Masters of the Flying Guillotine. Back, we should do that one day. Had an interesting tournament as well, and that was similar to this, where you had different fighters with different styles fighting against each other, man. And so that's pretty cool to have that in this film. It adds a lot to it. You know?
Does. And to your point, yes, I was going to say the two main things that came out of this film is, yes, you know, you get this full contact Kumite event, which, you know, subsequently is a lot like UFC fighting. When you look at it, various fighters from all over the world, various fighting styles. And this movie came out in 1988. UFC was funded in 1993.
Also, that was kind of cool too, because you had like wasn't just the KO. It was different ways you can win. Like this thing introduced submissions, which I never seen before in a fight. Yeah, you could submit, but then didn't one of these dudes submit, and then
Mr. Young was still like, but then Van Damme makes it like, say it,
because the crowd was asking for death, yo. This was wild, man. Yes. This is a wild event. You know what? Part of my brain wants to believe though that there are things that were. There's tournaments like this that maybe you do fight to the death for the and there's money involved.
Real life fight club. I mean, look at all the
underground, like some underground shit.
Man, they got this idea from somewhere. Frank Dux just sold it in a proper way. You know, you sprinkled a lot of sugar.
It's like the idea of like snuff films. Do they really exist, or is that just something that was made up? But part of me thinks that there probably is a sick mug that paid to see somebody get murdered on tape.
Yes, these like people don't just think this shit up. People, but some people just think it. Other people act it out.
Yeah, so there's probably some tournament. This probably has happened at least one time.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if you think about it, it has. And we got record going back to the Roman gladiator days. That was kind of death matchy stuff.
Yes,
but I'm talking about. I think this probably has happened between the 70s to now.
Yes,
this probably happened somewhere.
This shit probably happened in somebody's backyard before. After one too many beers, they're like, "Fuck this, we're all fighting to the death." But you know. But you know, another thing that came out of this movie, and this is noted, this documented, the maker of Mortal Kombat actually said he was heavily inspired by this film and wanted to make a gritty game surrounding it. And if you really look into it, there's a parody character of Jean-Claude Van Damme in Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Even does the split move. Yeah. You know?
Another thing that came out of this that I was not privy to, Forrest Whitaker's eye, because I thought that was something that happened when he was older in life, but like you watch this movie, you will see that he's kind of young here, and that characteristic of the droopy left side is on full display, man. So this was groundbreaking, man. You know.
All right. Shit. Yeah, all right. Only on Classics and Cinematics, man. We're going to break down Forrest Whitaker's eye. All right.
I'm just saying, man. I just noticed that. Yeah, that was one of the goofy moments to me, because not only is he going to this tournament, but he's an army guy in some military, and he went AWOL to go do this, and so they sent 2 guys to get him, to bring him back armed with only tasers.
To take down this covert operating CIA's most dangerous weapon with hands and all this other stuff. I mean, this dude's supposed to be a walking shotgun for all intents and purposes. You want to take him down? Take him down with tasers. But you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because you know, not only are these the 2 doofiest cops we've ever seen on film, but you know, as much as I love this film, every time they do that cheesy ass chase scene,
I hate it, dude. That one scene where he's running through the streets and he's playing with them. He's like, I'm like, what is this?
What are you doing?
This is definitely one of those moments that took me out of it. I was like, bro,
oh yeah, no, I skipped that every single time.
It doesn't seem serious. You know what? All right, put it this way: they kind of redid this movie later when he did Lionheart. Same sit-up when he ran from the French Foreign Legion. Well, I love when they put the French Foreign Legion in the movie. And they sent 2 guys to track him down. But those guys was kind of serious. They didn't do that cheesy, even though this still was goofy, because eventually they, just like in this movie, they eventually, all right, man, we'll let you fight, but you got to come back with us when it's over. You know what I'm saying?
You'll come back.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Ogre from the Nerds.
Yes,
he was.
Yes. Oh, and you know what? And I give him big props for being in a martial arts film and not doing a single martial arts
that one blow he
ever.
He hit the guy.
He hammer fisted him.
Pow! And then he split the shit out of that dude, though. Like, and he's just determined to go to the end with just brute strength and determination. My man ain't got no skills.
He can't play video games good. He can't do shit right, but he can hammer fist the fuck out your forehead.
Yo, with the Harley Davidson team, man.
Yes,
that's all
look,
I need,
he's headbutting bricks. You know, I mean, this is insane.
All I need is a Harley tee and my 2 fists, and I'm gonna get out of this.
Yeah, a couple beers, and I'm good to go. He even fights in sweatpants, like Reeboks and sweatpants. I'm like, damn, dude,
there's a lot of goofy stuff. Like it is one of these kind of films where you could sit back and make fun of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
As it's transpiring, just the dialogue is terrible.
There's only 3 people that talk.
Yeah.
It's Van Damme and 3 fighters: Van Damme, Ogre, and then the dude Hassan, and he's the one who's like, "Hey, girl, you want to have an interview with me? You come to my room." But you know the funny thing about that. You know, that's the first dude that Van Damme fights in this movie, right? You know the part where, like, after Van Damme knocks him out and then he comes back and tries to get Van Damme from behind and Van Damme elbows him? He really knocked him out. That's real footage of Van Damme elbowing
That's
this
what I gotta
dude and
speak on
really
to, man.
knocking
Because,
him
like,
out.
this fighting is pretty bad for the most. It's inconsistent. Like there's moments where you see some exchanges that are done well, but then there's a lot of really bad, like choreography. I don't even think most of these guys were really martial artists. They just found guys that were fit and put them in gis and had them do a little It'll be like if me and Bob was to fake fight karate in this ring right here.
Yeah, exactly.
There was not a lot of really good fighting in this. Maybe until the last match with or even the Chong Li stuff is kind of goofy. It's like I don't think they had a real fight choreographer or even put that in the budget to make that happen.
I have notes on that too.
What you got?
Guess who was the fight choreographer in this film? None other than Mr. Frank Dux himself.
Oh my
the
God.
real life 329 matches, .12 punch you in the face, knock you out, Mr. Frank Dux. Yes. What are you doing,
Frank's
Frank
name
Dux?
is just looking like trash in these streets.
Yes.
Before we get into this, like, it was so, like it's like he was trying to make this movie bad.
But you know the funny thing?
Because think about it, man. I got to speak to Bolo Young, Charlie. Like, so what is 88?
88.
Enter the Dragon came out in 73. Why you ain't let Bolo do the choreography? You probably could have got way more out of this than what Frank Dux brought to the table.
This episode is brought to you by Classics to Cinematics merchandise. Now, I might not work out every day, but when I do, I want my body wrapped in this 100% pre-shrunk cotton Classics to Cinematics t-shirt, guaranteed to make my muscles look stronger and feel bigger. Get yours today. Don't be afraid to be cool. Click the link below. Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Speaking on Bolo, there's a reason why I got him on my shirt. He is the coolest character in this film, and they bring him in justifiably so. First, man, before the credits even stop, opening credits, they got my man busting cinder block size chunks of ice that are hanging from a tree with
that was goofy though. The intro of this is goofy because this dude's breaking blocks. That one dude who does the knee through the big.
Oh yeah, the little rich guy. It looks so goofy. It's like Batman, like with no mask. You see Alfred like rooting him on. He's like, yeah, knee that board. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
I do want to point out though that I always thought Bolo was like I thought he was like 6'2". That mug is like he's like 5'8", bro.
He's a little guy because Van Damme is only like 5'6".
But the way they shot it, you think he always looked like a giant on film, dude.
He does, but I mean he's swole. He's like a fire hydrant.
He was the most brolic Chinese man ever.
But the thing is, though, they do justice by him because he's menacing in this. And then
he's great.
Then they always like change the tone. Like
he understood the assignment, yo.
Yes, he did.
That part where his face, the way he's looking at. When he takes Ogre out, yo.
Yes, when he stomps him. And I love the fact, like, he's just so, like, he's just numb to everything that's going on. Like, before he fights people, he blows snot rockets at him. He's like,
yeah,
whatever. I'm a chest flex on you real quick and then just go ahead and do what I gotta do.
I don't get Frank Dux' character, though. This man got, like, outfit changes. He got no consistent. You look, like, he's got on 3 different gis as he's coming through the tournament. But that is the fun part of this movie because there is some really good inspired 80s music on the soundtrack that pushes you through the montage of the tournament. Even though the fighting isn't always great, I do like the scene where my man get his tooth knocked out. And my man is cleaning the joint.
He's like,
it's like a gold tooth, and he picks it up.
Yes, dude. And the dude,
it has enough of those goofy moments, man. I'm telling you, man. Like I could, like. I still think the film is kind of trash, but I imagine people watching this in 1980, 89, let's say, when they got it on VHS and having a blast with their beer. Like 89, I would have been 11 years old and I would have loved this thing. In
89, I was 7. I loved it then and I still love it now. Every time it gets the blood flowing. Like I said, it's a testosterone rush, man. You're just watching all these dudes just fighting and everyone's kicking each other's ass, doing this crazy shit that you feel like, oh man, if they can do it, so can I. But move the coffee table, let's fight.
Yeah. So that's one of my biggest complaints too about some of the fighting. There are some exchanges, but for the most part, is I'm gonna hit you, you hit me. Even when we get to the finale, which still I think kind of holds up, but it's still kind of cheesy. Him and Bolo, the final fight confrontation, and that is funny because it's got all the slow motion, it's got all the tropes and all this shit, and and he's actually by now. He's starting over. He's whooping Chong Li's ass, yo.
He kicked his ass.
He's whooping his ass
until Chong Li threw the shit in his eyes. Cheater.
That's the part that pisses me off. I hate.
You don't have to cheat.
I hate when they make the bad guy cheat.
Yeah,
man.
no,
let's just make it like that. That kind of took me out when I was watching Creed 3. I was like, come on, man. Y'all didn't have to have him cheat, man. Y'all could have just had Creed outclassed this dude. You didn't have to have Damien cheat, but Chong Li cheats, and the funny thing is, of course, this motherfucker has trained with they make an effort to show us that he trained blindfolded.
Not only can he fight blindfolded, that motherfucker can catch a fish. It shows him catching a fish.
My favorite part though is when he's blind at first, and he's like, like, dude, that's the best. Like, yo, that actually, man.
Oh yes, dude.
You talk about a moment of frustration and rage.
Yes.
That eclipses when Raphael found out that the Foot Clan stole Splinter. He's like, it's just like, that's.
Oh, and he don't know where. I mean, Van Damme did a really good job at looking blind.
Yeah,
like for the rest of that fight, he doesn't make eye contact with Chung Li at all. You know what I'm saying? Like he was great. I mean, he's flipping around doing all this crazy stuff. I mean, he's connecting, but he does like 8 windmill kicks in a row. What wow? It doesn't look at him once.
The dumb shit that's goofy is everything he did in the beginning when he was training with the master, he does, and he even has a scene where the split when the dude grabs his leg and he's like,
Dude, do you know they said he did a record high splits 9 times in this film, and without that training montage, we wouldn't know where the hell he learned that from.
Yeah, man.
So we need to know. Like normal people can't do splits like that.
We need to know every move in his arsenal.
The only thing they didn't show us is where he learned how to do the dim mak, which was the death touch.
Right there, when he hit my man right there. Is that the dim mak? When he hit the big dude? Was that what it was?
Well, shit. I don't know how he didn't explode his stomach. He can explode a brick. You know what I'm saying?
Here's another bombshell you would only learn on this show. The dim mak touch of death is bullshit.
It is bullshit. It's not
real.
It is fake. Yes, it is. It does not exist.
This was the crazy shit. Like back in the day, Boys Life magazine, Ranger Frick, you do all contact, boxing mags and martial arts magazines, and you can see in the back there was always an article, ad in the back where you could spend like $15 or $20 to order the secrets to the dim mak.
The dim mak. Yep. How you can hit any body, like 56 pressure points all at one time.
We need to bring that back, dog.
And then their body explodes.
Everybody on Twitter is selling marketing techniques and OnlyFans. I'm about to bring back the dim mak on them. I'm gonna make a video course on the dim mak, and I'm gonna sell that to y'all for $15.99 on Twitter.
Hell yeah, hey man, we can sell it on the website. Put the logo on it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Through the movie, the only person who was not impressed with the dim mak was my man Bolo. He looks out and he was like, "Oh yeah, nice. Bricks don't hit back though." Explode all the bricks you want, bitch.
Oh my god. I mean, ultimately, my man Frank is triumphant. He using his blindness. He still defeats Bolo. One thing I did like though is that curved ring. I thought that was cool.
That is cool.
Like just to give you an uneven surface, and you're gonna have different advantages on different. It's like in Star Wars when my man Obi told of Anakin, he's like, I have the high ground, bro. Give up. So I wonder how that would affect a real fight. Like imagine a boxing match on a uneven.
Oh yeah, so when you have to backpedal up the hill, that would be wild.
That would be wild, dude.
Something I almost forgot, So also shout out to Michael Kissy. I believe I'm saying his name. He's the guy in the first fight, blue shorts. Yeah. He's also the guy that Bolo's the one who kicks the knee and kicks his leg.
Oh,
and his knee pops out. Do you know
the compound fracture?
Do you know who Michael Kissy is in movie films? Him and Jean-Claude Van Damme came to the States together. Both wanted to be action heroes. Michael Kissy then the next year got his dream fulfilled. That is Tong Po.
Oh,
that is Tong Po.
So hold up. So he was a straight white dude playing Tong Po?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch. I haven't watched Kickboxer in a long time.
That was Tong Po. Wow. Michael Kissy. So shout out to him because he
Kickboxers has some interesting things that it brought to the table, including the I don't know if he did that in here. I think he might have did that to Bolo at the end. The multi kick where he did the spinning roundhouse. He jumps
Yeah,
and then it hits. It's like
4 times.
It's like 3 angles where they like. And then, so that started with this at the end of that.
Yeah.
But then when you watch Kickboxer, man, he does that like 3 times in that whole movie. It's like.
Yeah. And then also, it's also the dude, the Muay Thai guy, the one with the shorts with the logo. That's Polo Tucha, and he was actually a real Muay Thai champion in real life. And the logo.
Imagine being real and you having to sit on this set and watch them make this shit.
But the cool thing is, so the logo on his shorts, that's actually a well-known gym, kickboxing gym or whatever, and that's the same gym that they use in the movie Kickboxer. So saying all that to say this, like without this film, this is like the little cousin to what then became the better movie Kickboxer.
Because the crazy thing about this, some people don't know. I mean, it's out there now, but this film almost got put on the shelf. Like it was filmed and done and what's this, Carolco Films, was it one of their, or
I think I just know Canon.
Oh yeah, Canon and Carolco, they were kind of related. They were just different. They were the same. Under the same umbrella.
Got the Canon.
So they was about to shelve this. So Van Damme took it upon himself to do another edit of this thing, and they decided to put it out, and it became a runaway hit for them. Like
it did.
Like critical reviews are kind of split, but commercially it was a success, and it launched his career. Because did he do No Retreat, No Surrender before this or after this? Because I think it was before this.
It was before,
because he was the bad guy in that. Remember, and that is a wild movie that I really liked
I think that was
as a kid, and I wonder how it plays out looking at it now. But that was a film where a kid has a moment where Bruce Lee comes to life and teaches him how to fight. And he ends up fighting Van Damme. And Van Damme was crazy in that movie. Yeah. He was a really
and effective. Cyborg came out after this.
I think definitely. Yeah. So then that his Van Damme's role in that Kickboxer, No Retreat, No Surrender, led to him getting his own solo career, and this launched it. Well, this marks his arrival. Then we get, Kickboxer and Cyborg and all those other things.
Death Warrant. I mean, this is what made him an action hero. A real life ninja in your living room. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, I mean, also, like I said, I love the music. I think the music it's some get hype, MMA fighting kind of stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the same dude, Paul Herzog, did music in this, also did all the music in Kickboxer. So, I mean, these two movies are very heavily entwined. But speaking of the success of this film, people can say what they want. This film had a little under a $2 million budget.
Wow.
Box office pulled back $50 million.
That's big.
So if that's not a ninja flip for that ass, I don't know what is.
This has got to be one of the biggest films of '88. That's crazy, dude.
Yes. Wow. And it's all surrounding.
Wow.
From Mr. Frank Dux, line ass with his padded ass stats. But man, he could tell a good story, man. So, I don't know, man. Like the way I see it, we could make fun of this movie. We could bag on it. I still was very entertained with my rewatches this time around. Loved it as a kid. Still love it now. And I mean, the movie is simply 3 things. It's made up of flashbacks, training montages, and kick-ass karate. What more do you need? You know what I'm saying? You crack a couple beers or something, throw them back and watch these guys fight. Yeah. It's just an adrenaline rush on screen. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
so for domestically, it did about 11 million. So worldwide, though, that 50 million was pretty significant. So just for domestic box office and what you say what the budget was, $2 million? That's still a hit, dude, because just think about it. You spent $2 million and you made $11 million in the US box office in '88. That's crazy. And so this film is right above Caddyshack 2. It's above Moon Over Parador, Iron Eagle 2. It's beating out things that have some pedigree. Return of the Living Dead 2. Let me see. Dirty Dancing, dude. It beat out Dirty Dancing at the domestic box office in '88. And the thing about it, like I said, like I wish they put these numbers out because they are significant at this time.
Yeah,
that VHS era was ruling, man. So this thing probably did domestically twice what we've got here reported for this theatrical gross. You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, I mean, with it to hit 11 in the States, but then to gross over 50 worldwide. I mean, that's just, look how much love this film is getting nationally.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, it's loved by the masses, and it's so simple. It's such a simple movie. I mean, it's like I said, 3 ingredients, man. You mix it together, microwave, and bam, dinner is served.
Just need a little fighting and madness. But yeah, man, I think we could get around to wrapping this thing up, man. It is one of them things, man. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I don't think the nostalgia factor holds up, you know, that great for me, but it is one of them ones I think you have to have seen to be in any kind of film fan, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just good to have certain films as a point of reference in general, or just to have a look. Because like I said, man, this is Van Damme's first big look. You know what I'm saying? Like besides No Retreat, No Surrender, this is the one that set him on his path to being annoying on the set of Predator and getting fired. So, but like, exactly. You gotta know where things go and where things connect sometimes, man. And I don't know what Forrest Whitaker's filmography looks like. This is early for him too, man. You know. Yeah.
Before this, I don't know what he was in. You know what I'm saying? But I know that after this, I don't even think it had anything to do with this film. But I mean, he's gotten a lot of roles since this. You know what I mean? And I'm with you. Like I said, I mean, I love this film just for my own personal reasons. It brings me back to, you know, my childhood and just all the craziness that was going on. This springboarded Jean-Claude's career. And then, like I said, a year later, we get a much better film in Kickboxer, but it had so much of the same elements that this film had. It's just done better. You know what I'm saying? So with all that being said, I mean, I still can watch this film anytime and be happy. And it's a quick 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's crazy because Forrest, his early stuff, he did a film, Tag the Assassination Game and Fast Times at Ridgemont High in 82.
I remember him in Fast Times.
So these are 82. Those was.
But he had such a small role in Fast Times. I mean, all he was the guy that got out of the Corvette, and then they trashed his Corvette.
Yeah, but that was 82. So then Bloodsport, he's still doing these small bit parts. He had he was in Color of Money and Platoon in 86. And Good Morning Vietnam in 87 and the Stakeouts. He had a big role in Good Morning Vietnam, so that was a lot of visibility for him. So, you know, versus this was kind of just like, you know, but then, you know, he would go on to be that dude, you know.
I mean,
damn, we did Johnny Handsome. That's one we need to talk about.
From Bloodsport to Ghost Dog.
Yeah, man. Rage in Harlem. That's another. We got to bring that up, man. Dog, we could be doing this forever, y'all. So stick with us. Subscribe to the channel, man. We got movies coming out.
Yep. Keep supporting. Keep liking. Keep watching. Because we gonna keep doing this. We not stopping no time soon.
We not faking out here like Frank Dux, man.
Nah. No Dukes going on these parts.
Yeah, folks, man. But I think we can wrap this up, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Classes of Cinematics on Instagram. Catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
And it's Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me on the next show. Bang, bang.
All right, man. Peace.